morning, viewers. You're welcome to.
I go play montage now.
This thing they with traffic. Traffic update.
We'll go just.
The first one do top stories. There's no traffic update.
We don't go live. I go now. No, you as soon as they talk, you go enter.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to another exciting edition of the program Lagos this morning. Today being the 12th of April 2023. Today we'll be looking at a series of news updates in Lagos State and also across the Federation. But before then, I am Olajide Taufik Olamide, and I have with me here my ever wonderful and ever beautiful co-host.
Yes, good morning, viewers. You're welcome to the show Lagos this morning. It's good to have you today once again. I am Blaza Jose. You're welcome.
Yes, good to see you.
Yes, thank you.
You're actually not looking bad. You deserve the compliment.
Yesterday you were too much looking to my eyes too much.
Okay. Alright, let's move on by taking a good look at the top stories. The top story for today, right here. We have the top story for today. Briefly, APC kicks as Northern senators insist on Senate presidency. Oh, sorry about that. Nobody can stop Tinubu swearing in Dave Umahi.
Nobody can. Wow. Well, yeah. Okay.
And also, federal government Peter Obi Biker over leaked audio conversation with Bishop Oyedepo.
On the next, we have interim government Arewa elders warns Obi Dati.
The Christian Association of Nigeria reacts as Pick Milk apologizes over controversial Easter adverts.
Electronic transmission of election results not compulsory. That's coming from Inec.
Why would they say it's not compulsory after they've actually promised, and it's even in the electoral act? And I was just asking this question, that even if they come out to say it is not compulsory, then why did we budget 300 billion for both the Beavers and the IREM if they know that they won't be doing the what's it called, the transmission not manually? Then they shouldn't have budgeted 300 billion for it. We should have just known right from the start that it would just be the normal manipulation. Let's forget about IREM. So what is the essence of IREM if they are not operating it in real time?
See this question you just asked now. I wish I can sing. You know that song, Mr. Yakubu. You know, but let me hold it there.
Alright, Peter Obi should be arrested. Tinubu should be sworn in. Northern elders.
APC members calling for Christian Senate president are hypocrites, coming from Buwala.
Dino Melaye not fit to be Kogi State Governor. Yeson Wiki.
Wow. Okay, that's what that PDP after all.
He is actually aspiring to be the next Kogi State Governor.
Wow.
Yeah.
The man with basketballs. The only politician with basketballs. I think I like that man though. You must clarify authenticity of leaked audio. Lai Mohammed House Obi.
We are happy that Ayu did not go. Wike mocks former PDP chairman.
Right?
Had it been Ayu had resigned then, that means Wike would have supported Atiku. Now imagine Atiku has been supported by Wike and Atiku still lost. That means Wike would have been on the losing side now. Because Wike to some extent is supported Ashwadi Bola Tinubu in the election. Even for the fact that he was, and even till now, he's still a PDP member. You know, so now he's rejoicing that thank God Ayu didn't resign.
The question is, are you guys really sure that Wike is still in PDP, or he's just answering a PDP member just for answering sake?
You know, Wike said something while all the old shenanigans was going on. He said nobody can chase him out of PDP because he was there right from the start.
Mind
He
you,
had never, he said you left, then came back. He said he had never for one day denounced PDP, that he would remain there and he would fight. And he actually fought, and I think he actually
Those
won.
things are just mere words, not when pressure comes.
Mm.
That people can't withstand pressure. You know, he's just there because he's acting like I'm one of the founding fathers of PDP, even though I don't really know if he is. You know, he might not really be, but anybody can live. He's not the god of PDP.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if
yeah,
he's
no.
the god.
Well, I think when it comes to pressure, I don't think Wike is someone who fidget. And then, you know, when it gets to when it comes to facing pressure.
So-
Wike is-
100 naira ko, Estambo Seko.
Back to the program, let's take a look at the traffic updates around Lagos State today. You know, Lagos State used to be even it's not even used to be. Lagos State is a very busy city, and then people, you know, trying to navigate across the different part of Lagos State will actually be needing the help of people who would be there before them to just, you know, give them information about the places, so they'll be able to plan, you know, their movement ahead. So the traffic update from Okeodo. Traffic is looking good within the area. Ojaba and Charity intersection looking very calm. The stretch of Ajegunle Abuleba corridor, both inwards and outward, are equally good as well. However, Ilepo corridor is moving traffic due to high influx coupled with commercial activities. Impediment remains negative as well.
Yes, Aja traffic review. Traffic generally is subsiding across the axis. Aja down to VGC, Chevron, Igbo F1, and Jakonde all subsided aside from traffic signal light delays. Chisco and Ekate is receiving a bit of influx now, but it's moving steadily. Ekate to Mawa and Mawa back to VGC, all good. There is a broken downloaded tipper with a mechanical problem. Owners is working on it to get it fixed as soon as possible. It's slightly affecting traffic inward Aja proper. Our traffic officers are on ground monitoring the situation across.
Alright, let's take a good look at Ajuwon and Elliot. Ajuwon and Elliot Road to Ishaga roundabout is fine. Agbado Crossing Road is still motorable. Ishaga Road about to Fagba. Ishaga roundabout to Fagba intersection is gaining momentum from Lonlo to Fagba intersection. Outward is on the good side. Moving from Olaiwola to Fagba intersection is quite a smooth ride in and out. Inwards and outward Fagba intersection from Jungle is still experiencing a lesser traffic. Jungle to Odejobi is very free. Slow movement to Penn Cinema underneath the bridge due to alternation. Return journey is on the good side. Journey to College Road area at the moment is still very encouraging. Occasional delay due to alternation at Aruna and Oyemekun. Inward journey of Father Ray Street Junction and route nationwide going to Ajayi still is in order. Return journey is very okay back to Jungle.
Traffic update presently at Bariga and Iyano Oboro. We are experiencing high influx of vehicles coming from Olopomeji and Iyano Oboro inward Ilaje and Unilag waterfront. One from Ajekunle down to Adeniji is also at a very slow pace. One return journey from Adekunle inward Ilaje Unilag waterfront down to Iyano Oworo is good to go, and presently no impediment for now, both inward and outward. Movement from Iyano Oworo inward Badaga down to Charlie Boy is also good to go. One return journey from Charlie Boy back to Badaga is also good to go.
Alright, that's what we have for you on the traffic update. As soon as we get more updates from our men on ground, we'll ensure to keep you updated. Let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers this morning. In front of me, I have the Punch, and the Punch at the top left corner, you see House Leadership, Pro G5 reps plot to scuttle PDP plans.
Yes, House Leadership Pro G. Okay, on to the next. National Assembly proposes jail time for Ponzi scheme promoters.
Well, I think Sabinus, he actually endorsed. He made a promotion for a particular Ponzi scheme, AI mining, and the people, the victims, are actually calling him out now. They wrote petition to the EFCC to get him arrested.
Wow,
Yeah, actually happened yesterday.
that's so sad though. On to the next. Tinubu won presidential poll, Inec tells tribunal. President-elect clinched 1/4 of valid vote cast in 29 states. That's electoral umpire. Losing FCT, I read hiccups can't invalidate APC victory, says Inec.
Alright, still on the front page of the Punch, we have Rhodes Vival. Jando asks tribunal to sack someone.
Assault. Police to begin trial of 3 Rivers Kano cops.
Mob beats OAU student to death over stolen phone.
256 stranded Nigerians rescued from Libya and Chad.
Alright, let's move on to the next newspaper right in front of us, which is Sports Extra. Yesterday was, fantastic showpiece in the UEFA Champions League.
Wow.
Would I say the almighty Bayern Munich was humiliated by Manchester City. 3-0.
Do you know, I don't really understand what's up with men and football. Look, it rained heavily yesterday evening. Night here in Lagos State. I still saw people heading to the viewing center.
Yes.
Under the rain, I'm like, what is this thing with men and football? Well, I wouldn't blame you guys though. Someone said any man who doesn't watch
Who
football,
doesn't like football?
who doesn't like football and doesn't like what's it called, boxing. I don't know.
I don't know what manner of man is the person. Alright, on the front page of the Sports Extra, we have Osimhen ruled out of Milan clash. Oh, wow.
Arsenal open to Balogu sell. About to sell you.
We are not selling Balogun. Alright, Mikel dreams Los Blancos UCL upset. That is a Real Madrid upset. Well, can Chelsea actually defeat Real Madrid? Chelsea for the past, I think, 10 games or so now, they refused to leave that spot of 10th position. They've actually, maybe they've bought that space. Like, they're not leaving that position. But Real Madrid is flying high in the UEFA Champions League. So I think, tipping Chelsea, the current Chelsea we have right now, to defeat Real Madrid, it will be a humongous task for Chelsea. Yeah,
I'm a Chelsea fan. Hello.
They think that a Chelsea fan.
I'm on blue today.
I'm on white today.
I'm on blue
I'm
today.
on Madrid.
I'm on blue today. Alright, moving on to the next. We have Blues keen on permanent Felix deal.
Okay, rampant citizens crush Bavarian 3-0.
United to offload 13 players.
They should offload some for Chelsea.
These are no big small.
Messi waiting for Barcelona offer.
Falcons fly again. Beat World Cup co-host New Zealand 3-0 in exhibition tourney in Turkey. Fans say performance best under Randy Waldron.
Alright, Ericsson surprised Carroll, escaped punishment.
Okay, moving on to the next newspaper headline is the Guardian newspaper. Right in the front page of the Guardian, we have doctors demand salary review before May 29. UK counterparts begin strike over pay. NAD wants payment of review 2023 medical residency training fund. Admonishes reps on omnibus bill sponsored by Johnson. to summon INEC meeting in 2 weeks on next line of action.
All right, on a bit of sports. Sports minister under fire over 21 billion naira request to fix national stadium.
Please, they need to fix it.
With how much? 21 billion naira.
I don't know, but come on now.
You don't want to import a new stadium.
You know the way they call money in this country. If an INEC officer chairman can demand such amount of money to conduct an election that we didn't really see, you know.
A nation that they came out now to say that uploading results in real time is not necessary.
So please let them fix the stadium. National stadium, of course, needs to be fixed with any amount. I believe Nigeria has the money, but they should not go abhorring to do that.
But I think the fact that we have the money does not mean we should spend it, anyhow.
Because that's what they've been doing. So what more do you expect? Moving on to the next. Allow APC choose National Assembly leadership. Wike tells opposition. I believe he's talking to APC.
Yeah. IMF retained Nigeria's economic growth projection at 3.2% as global inflation decelerates.
Burden of proof. Much ado about Tinubu's asset declaration.
All right, let's move on to Vanguard newspaper.
Right on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, APC looks to South, shops for Northwest deputy. Senator Godswill Akpabio, Jibrin Barua favored. Tinubu has final say on choices for the post, says source, as parties still making consultations. Akpabio very much in the race, coming from
Anambra's former governor Mba Dinuju dies at 78.
and you so rest in peace.
Amen.
White Plateau Assembly remains sealed, coming from police.
All right, on May 29, arrest advocate of interim government, Northern Elders, says.
Federal government Obi Bika over leaked audio conversation with Oyedepo.
On presidential polls, why we didn't declare Atiku winner, INEC tells court.
Illegal sale of crude oil. Malami received funds without remittance, reps allege.
Nigeria, Russia account for 440,000 barrel per day drop in output.
Gift Urban ready to play for Nigeria. Okay. Is that right? Moving on to the next. Am I mistaken?
Moving on to the next one, which is our Daily Independent. Right in front of the Daily Independent, we have Rep Someone Ahmed Malami over missing 48 million barrels of oil. That's too much. Gbajabiamila laments endemic corruption in Nigeria, vows to protect whistleblowers, pass protection bill. But how? 48 million missing barrels of oil.
Nigeria to declare
Wait. I'm trying to digest it. Even if it is 48 million stones or needle,
crude oil.
crude oil.
Now the question there is how did they manage to carry this crude oil, like move it from where it was to a different
See, there's no way they can move this crude oil without bringing a huge ship. And there's no way any vessel will enter Nigeria's territorial waters without alerting the Nigerian Navy.
So that's to tell you that both all of them they
Like
can't be
it's just like an organized crime or something.
That is it. Under Kogi Guba, Dino Melaye, not governorship material, says Wike. Backs PDP protesters say he doesn't trust INEC and police.
Yeah. Electronic collation of election results is not mandatory. INEC tells court.
I was sacked as NPA MD because of contract issues. Bala Ushman.
Again, gunmen abducts Kogi monarch. Gunmen abducts Kogi monarch aide, kill female worker. Why?
Is that a new thing?
Gunmen, Kogi, Benue State, everywhere.
Now Kogi has joined. This will be Benue, Brunu, and the likes. Now Kogi State.
Well, I think we are Buhari is rounding up already, so the president-elect should be thinking of what he would do to solve the security issues.
Lagos election, 4 parties asked tribunal to sack Sanwo-Olu.
2023 census will be Nigeria's best ever. NPC in check page 6 of the Daily Independent to get more on that.
Ohaneze Soludo mourn former Anambra State Governor Chinwoke Mbadinuju.
Arik Air founder Tim Amcon bicker over court judgment.
Why Nigeria's debt burden orders may worsen, coming from IMF. Says Nigeria's economy may face negative growth in 2024.
Alright, moving to the next one, which is the Nation. We have Wike saying PDP can't hijack National Assembly leadership.
Atiku didn't meet conditions to win Inec tells tribunal.
Nigeria may lose $23 billion to crude theft this year, Speaker wants. How? Now we know there are projections that Nigeria may lose $23 billion US dollars. You know, to make this thing make more sense to people, convert that $23 billion US dollars to naira. Let us hear how many trillions of naira we are about to lose to crude
Probably
theft.
should be able to do the calculation.
You know, it's just funny. It's funny. By the time our people out there, we need more infrastructures, we need good roads, we need some kind of fund for the people, for the youth, for entrepreneurs to actually grow. It's only in Nigeria here you realize that the people are trying to grow on their own without government's financial support or something. No government loan, no student loan, no nothing. When you go outside, I've never been outside the shores of Nigeria before, maybe abroad or something, but people that are there, I know that they said, there are some places there are student loans whereby you can go to school and pay back bit by bit. Even after you finish your school, you are not praying, you are not going to Shiloh to pray to God work. No, it shouldn't be that way. Now we are about to lose $23 billion US dollars to crude oil theft. Those people stealing this crude oil, are they from somewhere? Are they angels?
Mind you,
How are they stealing it? Is it like
those people
papers or
stealing
something?
this crude oil are still the ones gifting themselves what's it called, cars and assets while leaving office. Remember that. Okay, on to the next we have Amechi fired me from NPA over contract dispute. APC holds primaries in Imo, Bayelsa, Kogi this weekend.
World Bank predicts global high unemployment, inflation, slow growth.
Commission replies PDP candidate's petition. FCT has no special status. Obi's petition should be dismissed.
Alright, let's move on to the front page of Daily Truster. On leaked audio, federal government, ACF, others blast Obi. Clear yourself, Ohaneze challenges Labour Party candidate. It is ploy to divert attention from Obi's petition that is coming from Afenifere leader. And also Arewa elders warn Labour Party candidate against unguarded utterances.
10th Assembly Speaker, why Waste is the best choice? Abiwase is the best choice.
Reps finger Malami Ahmed others in $2.4 billion oil revenue scam. What is going on? $2.4 billion oil revenue scam. 21 billion to revamp the national stadium. Another one again, projection of $23 billion to be lost through crude oil theft. How much is now remaining for Nigeria?
I kind of feel that some of these people probably they are in their last phase of service and they are trying to do everything possible to make sure that, like I said,
that they wreck the remaining people in the ship.
Well, to them,
they're about to
it might not really
leave
be,
the ship
but
now.
it will not be wrecked. But see, sometimes though, it is not as if they don't really know what they want to do, but they kind of moving on, please. IMF urges CBN to continue raising interest rates.
Alright, Jay's Bank increased gross profit by 2.3 billion naira in 2022. On our business day, let's take a look at the front page of Business Day. Nigeria's dollar millionaire club shrinks 30% in a decade.
POS agents suffer low patronage as banks dispense more cash. Very
Why
good.
wouldn't they suffer less patronage? Why would they suffer less? You see, when during the cash crunch, they were actually taking all the profit in the world, charging humongous fees to people, even while we were not really comfortable with it. And now that there is a lot of cash in the ATM machine, how do you expect us to come to POS guys? It's not possible. So I think maybe there should be an association. They should come together and create their own bank. So we'll be withdrawing from there.
All right, moving on. Let's visit Nigerian Trade Tribune. Right. Okay. Lagos pandemonium in Isheri Magodo over attempt to execute judgment over land ownership.
Yeah, $460,000. Why Tinubu forfeited amount in US? APC tells court. Dismiss Obi Labour Party's petition. Tinubu APC Inec tells tribunal.
OAU students beat colleague to death for allegedly stealing on campus. Jungle
Look at the
justice.
security guys.
Jungle justice. This is becoming
This
something
is
else.
becoming too much.
Becoming
A
something
guy was
else.
actually burnt to death in Calabar. Another guy who actually rammed his car into some people was actually stoned to death. Just within 48 hours now. Then now another one again. OAU student, being lynched again for stealing the phone. We don't know how true it is. Now it's been alleged to have stolen the phone. What if it's a setup or a conspiracy?
Let's say no to jungle justice, please, before we go and harm innocent people that didn't do anything actually. Moving on, we have police arrest 2 suspects for stoning driver to death in Ondo to charge them with murder and arson.
Resident doctors kick over 5-year compulsory service proposal. Its definition of modern day slavery, they say. To get more on that, you can go to page 10 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Buhari told me Amechi wanted me sacked as NPA MD. That's coming from Hadiza. Why he didn't forgive me over $70 million dredging contract. Ask her whether she can stand the truth, which will also come out in my book, Amechi replies.
APC members insistent on Christian Senate President hypocritical article.
Coalition of Northern APC support groups want Lukman sacked.
President Muhammadu Buhari approves free zone status for Ekiti knowledge zone.
Right?
Yeah, that's what we have on the front pages of the newspapers today. Let's take a look at the top stories we have for today, which is Dave Umar is saying that nobody can stop Tinubu's swearing in. Well, actually, nobody, I think no outside force can actually stop it. The only set of people that can stop it is the present government. So I think coming out to say that no outside, like nobody entirely can actually stop it. Number one, that is a lie for the fact. Somebody can actually stop it, which is the federal government. The government we have right now are the only set of people that can actually halt anything or do anything they choose to do. So I think it's just trying to take a swipe at the aggrieved political parties that are in court for tribunal, and they're actually playing a kind of game using the media, coming up with all sorts of propaganda, fear tactics, pushing a kind of narrative that if someone does or says this kind of thing, maybe a breakup or the person can get arrested or being picked up by the DSS or something. So I think it's just playing a game by saying nobody can actually stop it.
Alright, our viewers, I think we'll go into the details of the story after this short break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah, stay tuned, keep watching Lagos This Morning. By the time we come back, you would have the opportunity to contribute to the program by calling in. We'll drop a phone number in the comment section and you'll be able to use it to give us your beat about the stories we have today. And also Christian Chukwu, our in-house analyst, will be joining us on the program to shed more light on the stories we have.
And of course, we're also seeing a lot of people dropping comments on the comment section. When we're back, we'll look at your comments.
Stay tuned.
100 naira eko, Estamban Seko. 100 naira Eko. Esther Bus Eko. Hundred naira Eko. Esther Bus Eko. Hundred naira Eko. Esther Bus Eko. Hundred naira Eko. Esther Bus Eko. Eko. Estamba Seko. Andra Nereko. Estamba Seko.
Alright, guys, welcome back to the program. We're sorry for the breaking transmission due to a technical difficulty, which has been equally rectified now. Alright, we have our in-house analyst, Mr. Christian Chukwu, on the phone line. He will be shedding more light on the topics today, right now.
Yeah, he's there.
Good morning, Mr. Christian Chukwu.
Yeah, good morning.
Alright, welcome to the program, Lagos this morning.
Thank you very much.
Alright, we have a series of news updates right here, which we would want you to shed more light on. We have Dave Umahi coming out to say that nobody can stop Tinubu's swearing in. How do you look at that stuff from Dave Umahi?
Okay. Not only Dave Umahi, other persons have said it, whether they are popular, whether they are governors, whether they are politicians, whether they are supporters of the party, or whether they are middlemen, or whether they are Inec persons. All we have to know that if the courts are working and not have people predict what may happen at the tribunal, if our judicial system has been working ever since, looking at the former judgments of voting from the Supreme Court, people will have confidence that there will be transparency. So when we look at the whole case at the election tribunal, one wants to wonder whether the evidences are not enough to make sure that all parties are satisfied with the process. There are calls that these tribunals should be televised live, and we should not listen to anybody trying to say, because what the Umahi is saying is not relevant to what is happening. When the court pronounces the judgment, everybody can move on.
Alright, and most importantly, Inec they responded yesterday by saying that electronic transmission of results is not compulsory.
INEC gave its guidelines, published the book, Electoral Act 2022 guidelines, and they spent money on publishing a book. They went for different interviews, they went for different press conferences, seminars. They had to even come to the concert held by Files and some other guys at the Tafawa Balewa Stadium, coming to assure Nigerians that the processes that is being embedded in the Electoral Act shall be followed to the letter. Spend over 3 or something billion naira on this election, just to come at the end of the day to tell us that INEC has its prerogative, has the right to tell, has the right to transmit election in whatever way it please, after telling us that it was going to be transmitted from the polling units. You see, the F13, the courts, whereby INEC is using, like what you feel like you punch this morning, you see INEC telling the court that so person won the election, it is so, it is so, and so. It seems that because I had some experiences at the election. I saw live where people were involved in electoral malpractices, and Twitter is a social media age. So many people, many evidences, and upon these evidences, INEC will still come out and say that they have the prerogative. Yes, they might have a point. Me, I'm waiting for the court to interpret. Anybody interprets anything, I'll just take it with light, I'll take it lightly. But when the courts come out, tell us the 25%, Abuja, tell us about this electronic transmission, because Lawan said that in the electoral act, they did not tell you that it is going to be transmitted electronically. At least it will be transmitted. But the spirit of the law, the law has spirit, should tell us that people are being hypocritical to the truth.
With the response from INEC, when I saw it yesterday, a particular question came to my mind, that why was the need for the 300 billion to come into place when they are not coming now to say that it is not necessary to transmit the result electronically? Then for the 300 billion they budgeted on the BVAS and the IREV. and the IRF portal. So are we saying that, are they now saying that they wasted or they squandered our 300 billion naira, which belongs to the Nigerian people, you know, because they're actually saying that it is not necessary. So why would you collect money to do something which is not necessary at the end of the day?
Yeah, the frustration Nigerians are facing now is as a result of improvements by Inec. And I believe Nigerians are very strong people. They don't, they can survive in any weather. If it were to be some clients who will have committed suicide, and because the evidences, it seems somebody will do something in your front and deny it in your front. That's what we're expressing here. And these are people that we are saying so-called respected people. I don't know what is the essence of bringing the beavers. I know the beavers itself worked. It was the human factor.
Yeah.
It was a system that did not work. The corrupt system. If you go to the civil service, you know that this country, with what is happening in the civil service, this country will not move forward an inch. So it is a system that did not work. The beavers and the machines are working. It is a system. Many people have said that the glitch is the game that will happen on election day. But it's when small children give you such a kind of experience, you know that these people they have a small brain. On that day of election, House of Rep transmitted, yes, Senate transmitted, but the presidency
refused to
transmit. I don't understand. In the space of how many minutes or how many 30, 40, 50 minutes or seconds, he couldn't transmit. And it is all over. All over. And when you look at the results of the House of Reps, you know, the winning party had a little edge. Like, despite the fact that they had to plan to do one or two things, trying to manipulate, depriving some kind of persons voter cards that reduce the population of those that would vote for a particular party, and coming with intimidation, with somehow bribery and everything. Despite the fact they still had to make sure the presidential election is not transmitted live. And they have already booked an excuse, which you asked me the first time. So it is so appalling. Sometimes people will just wonder whether, because Abati, look at Abati of Arrest, we wrote one article, said there are demons in Asuro. We are not ruled by ordinary people. We are ruled by people that have no conscience, have no value for human life. People that don't send us. People that, I don't know, something has taken over them. They are not really people that need to talk about handling the leadership of this country. But I believe one thing. I used to tell everybody, I believe one thing. From now till May, June, there will be something that will happen that will shock everybody. Everybody will be shocked. There will be something that will happen. I'm very, very confident of that. I'm very confident of that.
All right, Mr. Christian Chupu, thank you so much for that contribution. So I want to ask, I don't know, what would be your opinion concerning this leaked audio between P2B and Bishop David Oyedepo that is still that is still an issue up to now?
Okay, I think this is like between the devil and the deep blue sea. If somebody legitimately reveal that audio, the person will not want to come out and say I leaked it, because there will be breach of trust on the side of the NCC. If it's going to be authentic, we are going to be left in confusion, because whether it is authentic, somebody will come out and say, yes, this is authentic, this is how it is authentic, this is the source, you know, got it from. You understand? But nobody is going to come out, so we are going to be left in the dark. You know, there's so person to court, and so person will not respond. Or me, I don't understand the situation at this point in time, but I know that the law party said they're going to take it off at the end of the day. So let's wait. But I think that audio, there are so many things that we don't know. There's a compromise somewhere, whether it's fake or real, there's a compromise somewhere.
You know, someone actually said something during the weekend. You know, I was having a conversation with someone who is a strong supporter of a particular political party that I wouldn't want to mention its name. The person said that there is a political party in this country that they can cook up anything. They can even speak and synchronize the devil's voice. That got me. But then I don't want to know what will, as in, I really want to know what would be your view should Nigerians who are concerned about the conduct of the election and the way Inec conducted the election, should they relax at this point? Should they just should they not bother anymore, being that Inec has come to say that it is not necessary that the election results should be transmitted electronically? Should they just ignore what the whole thing, because I understand that there is a set of people who has been protesting, calling for an interim government and all. So with this statement coming from the INEC, should they just relax their balls and be like, okay, it is done, let's move on?
You know what happened in Sri Lanka, whereby everybody had to go and sack the president from his seat, is because corruption is not embedded in the society. You see, you say corruption is a fish. Corruption can swim in water. So the society we find ourselves in helps corruption to thrive. Helps because the INEC chairman that will cooperate in doing electoral malpractice is not the area commissioners. These are coppers. These are Nigerians that are suffering, that will be complicit in this fraud. You understand? For the fact that the society is knitted with corruption, don't expect these things to go away soon. Just be waiting for the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, or you should go and meet Allah.
Or the rapture comes, Abi.
Or the rapture comes.
Okay,
because wherever you move, you see this corruption. Not that we can't fight, we will fight. We will always fight. If you don't fight, you die now, Abi.
Yeah.
You will fight. So there's no how. Even though the devil comes through Nigeria, we must fight. There must be a way to fight.
Okay, the reason why I actually asked that question is okay, you mentioned what happened in Sri Lanka. Yeah, so like here in Nigeria, should people continue with the protest and with the tribunal? Are you sure that, how are we not sure that it's going to raise a lot of issues? And how are we also sure that the Nigerian government and our political elites are not going to flip the whole narrative and blame the citizens for it?
What will happen is that, let me just say that, what will happen is that, worst comes to worst, is wherein Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. And if it is the will of Nigerians, the government will thrive. Like the regime of Buhari, however he came into power, you can see the regime was not prosperous. So whatever foundation you build anything on, no matter how good you look or how intelligent or how wonderful your policies are, if you build on the wrong foundation, there will never be progress. You understand? So the politicians will always flip it because they are the one that are holding knife and yam. Nigerians are very, very afraid to carry out what Sri Lanka did. Nigerians are just reactionary. For instance, now if you go to the market and just shoot one bullet, that place will turn to a desert. Just shoot one bullet. Nigerians have not built themselves to the extent that they can have the guts to stand up the evil politicians until they build themselves up to the extent whereby they can die, they can sacrifice their lives for the betterment of the country, irrespective of whoever is involved, their father, mother, children, their family members. Then Nigeria is ripe to get better. The politicians will flip the narrative. That is what they have been doing. That is the foundation. That's the system. They always flip the narrative, looking at ethnic and religious. They have been flipping the narrative since 1960. So at this point in time, they will flip the narrative. You can see what APC said. The country spoke, APC said something. So they are waiting for you to bring out your gra, and they are on their own part planning to flip the narrative. But what I would just advise is that who hook yourself to the extent whereby you can withstand pressure and take action.
Please, sorry, Mr. Christian. I'm sorry, please. When you say cook, please, I want you to explain more on that.
Okay, when you say cook yourself, it's not the one you go to Djibouti.
Okay. And let that be clarified actually,
Exactly.
because if we all need to start going to a particular place to cook up ourselves for the task ahead, I don't know.
They say knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Those that carried out revolution in the past, they embedded themselves into knowing and reading and trying to put into practice what they read.
Yeah.
When you read up, you get knowledge, you put it in practice, you are building yourself, you are building your capacity. You see, most of these people that are in power today, they were the ones that fought for democracy.
Exactly.
So they know what it is to secure a nation. They know what it is. But they see us as people that are not really, how many of us read? How many people are interested in like trying to know what is happening? Even when they brought out the Electoral Act, people thought that you just put your hand on the beavers and you vote.
Exactly.
People do not even have to study. You know that this is not just you put your hand there. There are other processes. There's an EC8A form, EC8A, EC8B, and 3 forms before it gets to the Inec chairman. From the local government, from the one to local government to state, from state. So they thought that the beavers, the electoral just said the beavers will just, you understand, this and that. So until people try to know what is happening in the environment, try another time to take off actions. And the one they did once, second, third, fourth, fifth time, they are cooking themselves. Like what you're doing now, you're cooking yourself. I know last 4 or 5 months, you're not you never a day for fire, but like I'm not too glad this so it's not for fire now. Not being so it should be not for fire.
Exactly.
All right. So okay, yeah. I also want to really understand something. For this kind of statements, nobody can stop Tinubu swearing in coming from a governor and also a member of the APC. You know, for David Umahi to have said that. Is it not supposed to raise a kind of is it not raising kind of tension, or do I say question from the hearts of many, being that he's an APC member and also a sitting governor?
Okay, this kind of statement will only raise tension for Nigerians that are afraid or are emotional. Does it mean that if somebody comes out to say one or two things that I'll be moved? Look at what happened in Kenya. They have already saw the president has they called the result. But the unbelievable happened at the end of the day first. And what is happening in other countries, it will be Anambra State in the day has not been saying anything ever since, because he knows that despite the fact that politicians can talk and say all sorts, just be focused on what you're doing. That's what the Labour Party president candidate said. Focus on the case. Because I don't know, when they tell you go to court, let me start like this. Somebody told me that Igbos are a problem to themselves, they don't support their own. Now, Ibisobi came out, and majority of the Igbos that started supporting, they now brought another narrative that they are being tribalistic. The same people that said Igbos don't support their own now are saying that Igbos are tribalistic. They are running a tribal this, tribal that, tribal this. Now, after the election, go to court. Now, people are going to court. Different persons from other parties are saying one or two things, trying to distract you, to make you emotional, to come out and start crying. You understand? Let's wait for the court. Let's see what the court is going to say. You understand? What is saying it from his own room. It's his own talk and calculation. It's not about every Nigerian. The court is few days, like May 29. Probably 6 to 7 days to file like response to the petition. So in maybe April 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, we'll have a court session. So that's what we're waiting for. Let's forget everything that's happening in stuff.
Yeah. All right. On a lighter note now, yesterday in the world of sports, we saw Man City humbling the almighty Bayern Munich, and we saw Inter Milan and Benfica as well And there are some people that are making some suggestion and insinuation that the Blue Angels from London can upset the Los Blancos of Real Madrid of Spain. Do you think that can actually come into fruition due to the fact that Chelsea have not been in good form for so long now?
If Chelsea beats Real Madrid, that means they have broken a record. In fact, if it beats Real Madrid, they should just take it as winning the Champions League at that point. Even though they lose the Champions League.
We are going to surprise people today. Just hold on. Wait and see.
Yeah. All of us are going to be surprised. One way or the other. Whether in good faith or in bad faith. All of us will be surprised. I'll be surprised if Chelsea beats Man City. And I want to stake it that Chelsea is going to.
Okay, by your statement that you will be surprised, does that mean that you like your mind is going for Real Madrid, but if it flips to the other side of Chelsea, that you'll be dumbfounded, like how did they pull it off?
Chelsea, when it comes to Premier League, most times if it's Champions League, they do bring surprises.
Yeah.
They did that with Barcelona, but I don't think they will do that with
Real Madrid.
No, Real Madrid, yeah. I don't know what to call them. They are ancient of this. They're like ancient Baba. They're Baba in that Champions League. They don't have to do it. If flies caught them first, they are going to win. So if Real Madrid is going to win, I'm going to even get to the final. With Chelsea alone, I don't know what's happening. I know Lampard is coming to take over Chelsea, and that will be the beginning of the end.
Okay, I believe that Chelsea fans are actually watching us and they are listening to you, but I know they won't like what you just said just now.
The Chelsea fan behind you now, beside you, she's wearing blue.
You know, Chelsea fans have been would I say no, they've been alleged to be a kind of violent people. So I think you should be watchful of what you say.
I don't call them APC. I don't call them APC. I don't know.
All right, thank you very much for
Thank you so much, Mr. Chris. At this point, please, I would like you to excuse us because he just said something that is heartbroken right now.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Alright, thank you. Alright, that was Mr. Christian Chuku, our in-house analyst. Let's take a look at the feedbacks we have here today. T-Best Asika said, okay, thank you very much. I think that was fixed the moment you mentioned it. Yeah. Gladys Oyabo said, good morning to you all. I have missed you guys for weeks. What happened? Nice to be here today at 4:54 a.m. watching from ATL USA. Okay, you're welcome to the show. Yes, we had some technical issues, but we are back. Yeah. Only dishonest thieves can say the things that Mahmoud says. Good morning from New York to every one of you out there. Good morning to you too. Okay, Inec people are MAD. Good morning to you, my people, coming from Kinjo Ogba. Do you stay in Ogba? Oh, you're from Ogba. Chris, then you're very correct. They knows what they did by not transmitting the presidential election results, but they transmitted the House of Rep and Senate. You are still here. Okay.
This time,
yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, he's there. He would be having the bystander.
Yes, very soon you will see him online. The audio clip is not authentic voice of OP. What APC can do to retain power doesn't exist. Wow. Omahi is a member of APC, so what do you expect him to say? Coming from Joe King Joe Ogba. The audio is not loud at all. Okay, we'll try to fix that right now.
Alright, now moving on, still on the program Lagos this morning. We've taken a look at a lot of topics here from Dave Umai coming out to say that nobody can stop to this swearing. I think that statement is instigating. It can actually cause uproar and it would put fear in the minds of those people who are actually emotional. And I think that statement is actually been targeted at those, I think, in my point of view, that it is targeted at those that are aggrieved with the election results. Those that are in court. Like, nobody can stop Tinubu swearing in, even if you are in court. It's, you know, as the president of Nigeria right now, you can even see it as instigating towards you as well. Like nobody, not even President Muhammadu Buhari,
Nobody, not even
not
the
even
courts.
not even the courts.
Wow. You know, that was why I had to ask Chris that question. Like, this kind of statements coming from David, we understand that he is an APC member, he is an APC governor, but saying that kind of thing in this situation that we are in, whereby there are things that a lot of people are calling for to be corrected and to be addressed, and then he's saying this kind of thing. If it was to be another political party like the Labour Party, definitely he must have been called out by now.
Exactly.
Why would they say this kind of thing? You know, Basbos would have come in from left, right, and center, but I don't think that is actually very much okay coming from him. You know, at this time. You know, even though he has not been, he's not the only one who has been saying something like that.
Yeah.
Other people have been saying a lot of things by the side and all. Even the Northern elders saying a lot of things, but then I don't think it's actually coming at the very right time.
Exactly. We have a comment from Mr. King Joe Ogba. I said, "My sister, I'm not from Ogba. I'm from Abriba, the small London."
Oh wow!
I've been hearing that.
Everybody is in Abia State. I'm from Abia State too.
Oh,
Welcome, King Joe Ogba.
Wow. That
Yes.
means you've met your brother. Your brother online.
Abriba is a very beautiful town. It's a small town, but very beautiful.
Yeah, he says small London.
Yeah.
All right, on the next one again, interim government, Arewa leaders wants Obi and Dati. It's not actually only Obi and Dati that are in court.
PDP too
Abubakar is in court.
PDP as a political party is also in court. And then Inec chairman too is also in court.
Even APP, APM, and the
All
likes,
in court.
they are all in court. So why is it that there's too much focus on Obi and Dati, and not on Atiku, not on the APM, not on other parties?
There is something I wish I could say the way it is in my mind, but then I will try to hold back a little. Honestly, but then, you know, well, the interim government, I don't really know how much of a help it will be for Nigeria and to Nigerians, but then, you know, but that's what I said before. I believe that before the swearing in on the 29th of May, all the issues, at least let it be resolved to an extent before the swearing in. The courts, the beavers, the INEC, what Mr. Yakubu, you know, everything needs to be at least addressed to an extent. It needs to be looked into very well. Then the court must have decided to an extent, convincing the Nigerians and Nigerian citizens at least before the May 29. But if all these things are being overlooked, come on now, it's not going to be a good one.
Yeah, and I also think it will just be just like the declaration was made in the dead of the night. Even after Dino Melaye was telling the INEC chairman to stop the coalition process.
They didn't stop.
They
You know,
actually,
that was actually, how would I put it now? That was bad, if you ask me. From my own point of view at this point, I understand I'm not supposed to like say my own view.
Exactly.
But then, if I'm allowed to do that at this point, that was bad, because he wasn't just the only one. Another people too rose up there and said, no, you need to stop this now. But you didn't listen to them. You went on with what you were doing, and at the end of the whole day, while Nigeria was asleep, you know, you went for NYC, you know the time they usually tell us Nigeria is awake. It's by 6, right? 6. So while Nigeria was asleep,
Nigeria herself was asleep.
When Nigeria herself as a nation was asleep, you declared a president-elect. Then everybody woke up to the news. Then there was stillness everywhere, as if Nigeria went on strike.
So actually, if the 25th, by 29th of May now, there will be the swearing in. I think by then, according to what you've said now, the issues should have been resolved to a very large extent.
To a very large
there
extent.
should be just minute issue, because if it goes on, I'm not saying anything bad will happen, but I believe leadership is followership. When a leader and the followers are not on the same page, there's no way the government will actually do well. Even if you come there and you actually build infrastructures and the likes, and even, you know, there is no way you won't feel loved by your people. It's just as if just a little, some set of the masses, they love you, they are okay with you, but a larger percentage are just like they felt deprived. They felt like we cheated to get to the seat.
To me, the most important thing as a leader, first of all, I always say that a leader is first of all a servant.
Servant, exactly.
You know, a leader who cannot serve is not worth being a leader. You know, because I heard someone say something. while you are waiting, do what waiters do. What do waiters do? They serve. Alright, so a leader is first of all a servant. And also, when things are not going on well in a nation like Nigeria with over 200 million people, what are you supposed to do? You address the people, you speak to them, because you are not just there alone.
Exactly.
You are representing a large number of people, and you must talk to them. You must communicate with them. You don't just act like it's all about you. When all these things were happening during the election, both our president, Muhammadu Buhari, didn't say a thing. Maybe it was not in his place at that time to say anything. Yeah. But then the Inec of chairman who came out and gave us numerous promises that we anchored our whole hope on, and then it was flouted in the middle of the twinkle of an eye. You didn't still say a thing. You had to wait until the whole thing, they dragged you to court, they dragged the whole process to court before you now said it wasn't necessary to transmit, flouting what you said initially. That is bad. Being that you have people who listen to your speech, who read the electoral act, who read the statements you uploaded on your official handle of the INEC, on the INEC official handle. People listened to them, people followed it up. Okay, since they've said this, let's see how these things are going to end. Let's see if there will be any difference. And of course, in a sane society, in a sane country, this man is supposed to have been queried by now. I asked someone, what did the former INEC chairman do that made him to be sacked? I think he was sacked. That's Jega. I think he was sacked, right?
I'm not really sure.
What did he really do? What he did is, I don't even think he's up to what this sitting INEC chairman has done. And yet, we are still waiting.
And I think in a sane society, the INEC chairman should actually account for the 300 billion collected.
He should.
Because if you're coming out now, just as a random Nigerian that I am, if you are coming out as the chairman of INEC now to tell me that transmitting results electronically is not necessary, so why is the 300 billion naira necessary for you to make sure to provide the IREV? IREV does not work manually. The IREV and the beavers, it does not work manually.
When he
so
says,
now you're saying that, so you just useless both the beavers and the IREV. Now I'm wasting the 300 billion naira.
When he says it's not necessary, because I really want to understand, probably because I'm not into politics, I really want to understand what happened that the House of Rep results were being transmitted with the same machine on the same day at the same time. The senatorial results were being transmitted on the same day with the same machine at the same time. Then it is only the presidential result that was unable to be transmitted. There's a question mark there, and some people that know themselves are supposed to answer to it. To me, if you should ask me, that is the question that they need to answer.
See,
first of all, then another thing can come.
A particular lawyer of the INEC, Abubakar Mahmoud, actually came out to say that they had technical glitches.
Only on the
presidential when they want to cheat Nigerians, they use all this
big grammar.
So he said they had technical glitches that they had to bring in their ICT staff to look at it. That was why it took time to upload the presidential results. That's the answer they will give you. But the question I'll be asking,
were you not shocked that at the the National Collation Center, when we Nigerians thought that the manual way of collecting results were over, we saw how results are being collected manually. You have to start looking ballot papers, start looking at the whole thing. I watched the collection of results. I was like, oh, it's not the same thing they said. We've passed that era. Exactly. So why are we going back there? Those are questions that the INEC as a body, if you ask me, needs to answer, because they're not answering it, and they are coming out to say more things that are actually putting a lot of people in a state of confusion.
Alright, we have a feedback from Mr. Kingju. Thank you very much for the correction. He said Atari Jega was not sacked, his tenure expired. The question I would be channeling to the INEC chairman now is that he has come out to say that it is not necessary. Now, with that question, with that response, he has nailed himself. Then you squandered our money. How can you come and meet me now? Okay, let's say as a company owner, then you are the manager. You come to meet me like say, okay, we need 300 billion naira to organize so thing. And at the end of the day, it failed, and you're telling me that it was not necessary. then why do you come to meet me for the money that you needed to do some things? So it needs to come out. But who are those people that will actually vet it? Who are those people that would query him? Because they are the same thing, they are birds of the same feather, they flock together. Just like someone can just wake up and say they need 21 billion to it's not to build a national stadium, to just do touches on the stadium. You know, in an administration whereby
for that 21 billion, that means we should be
money.
expecting international standard.
What kind of
And
international
if it's anything less, like what we watch, you know, your Arsenal, their field, you know, Chelsea and all, you know, if it is not up to that standard, that means the money has been
squandered the money. Because in an administration whereby we've seen termites eating money, you know, snakes swallowing money, then all these things shouldn't just be new. But there are times we need to query these people. They need to be accountable.
If you should ask me, like, if I'm to say, the moment that we were told once upon a time in this country that termites ate up money, and then snake swallowed billions of naira.
36 million.
Okay, 36 million of naira in this country. At that time, when all these things started happening, you know, we Nigerians were too much, we were quiet. We didn't really follow up. We didn't react.
You know, we play too much in this country.
Had it been that, okay, at this point, whereby Nigerians and Nigerian youths, to be precise, are working, you know, our eyes are open. We are now like, why is this thing? Just like, okay, look at what the Inec chairman, Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu, said, you know, and what he did, and what we experienced and witnessed during the election, and now a particular songwriter and musician is coming up to actually through his music to ask questions. You know, if the way we understand things now were the way we understood things at that time, I believe that the questions would have been stronger. But because nobody cared, we were all like, okay, everything is still okay. Since
we were using it to catch clues.
You know, one thing with Nigerians is that we adapt easily and we play a lot. We catch clues a lot. But then the question still remains that the Inec chairman, Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu, has a lot of questions to answer, irrespective of whether he says is not necessary, is not important. But then you still need to tell us, let us know why. Okay, they said there were glitches. So
what were the glitches?
What were the glitches? We just told there were glitches.
What caused the glitches and how did you solve the glitches? You know, when they want to steal from you, you know, when they say, okay, someone stole money, they won't come to you to say this person is a thief. They say money laundering, money siphoning. But what is all those things? Just call someone a thief. A thief is a thief. You know, that's how our leaders, that's what they do. And these people are not accountable at all. They are not accountable. Just because they themselves, in their coven, they are just like giving themselves the contract. Okay, you take this one and just, you know, manage yourself there and do anyhow you want.
No, I'm actually very particular about the outcome of the election and the reactions and all. But then, you know, we are not saying, like, me as a person, I am not condemning who emerged as the president-elect.
I'm condemning this process.
It's the process.
The process.
And why was the president-elect announced in the week of the morning when Nigerians
I think even if it was the night or, you know, the morning or something else, the process that led to the declaration of the winner of the polls, it was not really, it had more negative than the positives. And then what are we saying? If the 2019 election was not as good as this, we want to see progress. And you've brought in electronic transmission. That was what they promised. Not even promised.
We all listen to
video evidence.
When he went to Chatham House.
Yeah.
The things he said, I remember that day I was all smiling, like, oh wow, this election is going to be transparent, it's going to be different from what we've seen so far. And then the election came and we even saw a worse scenario.
You know, I told you something then. You know, if you actually want to defeat these politicians, if you want to see through their lies, think like them. Now, while it was going around, you know, making promises, I was like, who would benefit from this electronic transmission of results? If the masses would be benefiting, then all this thing is saying is a lie. It would never do it, because their politics, Nigerian politics, politics in general is based on interest. If their interest does not, it's a game of interest. you would notice during Ekiti and Osun State election, the result was being transmitted in real time. After you vote, you go, then you log on to the website of Inec, then you start seeing the results coming up, just like all these Bet Naija and virtual games. But I think they were only planning on a 2-horse race, unknowingly for them that there is another black horse coming from behind that wants to overshadow them.
Is it
So
black
at the
or white?
you see, I think they used to call them dark horse, just like an underdog per se. So they didn't plan when they were bringing up the machines and the lights. They could confidently, boldly say that okay, we would obey the electoral act, thinking that it would just be like Ekiti and Osun State election, which was just 2-horse race, APC versus PDP. But on this one, another party just springed up from behind and wanted to uproot both parties.
What actually happened that they underrated
The underrated the Labour Party.
Without knowing that these guys, they were not joking, they were actually coming after them with great speed.
Exactly.
And then when they saw the force to which they were coming with, they start retracing. And
So the person that actually spoke with, the person analyzed it this way that they didn't plan on the third party, on the third force coming to outwit both of them. So if that third force under 8 months or 9 months per se can actually have over 6 million votes. Now imagine that third force has been there for about 8 years or 4 years, or has been in that system, or there are thoroughbred politicians inside the third force. Then that means they will actually uproot them. And then during the campaign season, we saw a kind of bromance between the APC and the PDP. So people are now seeing them as just the same party with just 2 branches, just like the Y, the letter Y, the same tree with different branches. So it's just like they didn't plan on the third force. But when the third force came, to some extent they had to change the game. They had to change the rule while the game was on.
That's
Something
what happened.
like that.
That's what happened. Without knowing that, see, you can't successfully change the rule of the game while the game is still on, because it will bring out a lot of questions that you must answer as the person in charge.
But I hope before May 29, the majority of the issues should have been rectified.
It needs to be rectified. I always say before the swearing in come, because as a matter of fact, anybody can actually, okay, it's fine. The APC candidate won the election.
Yeah.
No, it's actually okay, because he's not a bad person, and he has ruled, he has governed the states before where they were actually they were visible what's it called?
Visible
Achievements,
Yeah.
So if this party actually won this election as we were told, so we want to see let's say the process.
How did the person
emerge? How did he emerge as the president? I don't think it's a difficult thing to do. If it was actually transparent, if the process was actually very, very okay, if this person actually won this election, then it shouldn't be difficult to show Nigerians how they arrived at that result.
Exactly. Let's take a look at some of the feedback.
Okay. Atahiru Jega was not sacked. His tenure expired. Yes, we picked that up. George Omonakwe, one Nigeria is just a scam where the people love their chains and oppressors so much. Honestly, in Mahmoud should be in prison by now if we are in a country with rule of law. We did promise to do this. We are saying something else different. We must be upright and truthful at all times. Let us not judge because of our actions and activities, coming from Gladys Oyabo. If one Nigeria's election is not cancelled, forget about the scam called the country. A Joe Baron can't decide our future.
Wow. A lot of response and feedbacks.
Yes, at this point we would like to at least take one call. You can please call in. A number will be dropped there. Just one call, because we are almost out of time. Just one call, please. Let's know what you think about these topics. David Omahi saying that Tinubu must,
most especially the electronic transmission
of the results,
because
swearing in is just less than 2 months, just a month and few weeks.
Exactly.
The swearing in will come, and then there's the court cases are still there, and then leak audios of P2B and the people involved are still spreading, and the drug case and all the certificate forgery, everything. is still there. Even right about now, we've seen a report whereby Songolu is being dragged to court concerning his certificate as well. So really want to know what you think about these issues.
All right. Still on the topics here. The APC members calling for Christian Senate presidents are hypocrites. Well, I actually think when it comes to the Senate presidency, there's a kind of a game in the ruling party, whereby in the presence of everybody they will tell you we are trying to zone this thing to the southeast. But you see, majority of Nigerians now are politicians, myself inclusive. So now it's just like I'm in a party. Let me name the party XYZ political party. Then in that party there's a particular aggrieved set of people. Then I say, okay, don't worry, from this tribe I would actually pick a Senate president. Then behind the scene I would tell another person to come out and say he wants to vie for that president, for that post. I'll not feel like, okay, this man said he wants to vie for the post. It's not as if he can't vie for it. And you two, I want you to win. Maybe, okay, I trust you that you can win. Will two of you contest for the post, then I will support one. Then you will lose.
That's hypocrisy.
It's just like a game. So if truly they want to zone this thing to the south, I believe it should just be there alone. Nobody should actually come out to vie for the post again. We have a caller, Mr. Sam.
Mr. Samson.
Good morning,
Hello,
Mr. Samson.
Good morning, Mr. Samson. It's been a while. Welcome to the show.
Oh, we're sorry about that.
Alright, we'll try to fix it.
Yes.
Alright. Then secondly, I hope it's not, it's not going to be, you guys are not going to be nice, because I know you guys are fucking, I know you guys are
We are what?
I know you did, I know you are.
Nobody is partisan here. We're only doing our job as a journalist. Yeah, nobody's partisan. Yeah, we are only saying what is on the newspapers out there. We're only reporting it to you. As just a neutral observer, Now, all right. So what do you think about the electronic transmission of results? Inec coming out to say that it is not compulsory.
In the court of law, the INEC, the court.
Okay.
The court will only take into consideration the electoral act, not whatever guidelines that are being published. The electoral act, as amended 2022, is what comes to today, what becomes the grail, only grail, or whatever interpretation the court of law will pass. Alright, and as we know in that electoral act, there, that the result will be considered, like, as described, like, alright, so we know that House of Reps and all that were transmitted yet as a matter of fact, it wasn't all the voting for the House of Reps was actually transmitted in real time. Because some areas some areas in Nigeria, you won't be shocked that we don't have internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, election was held
Yeah.
right? For them to transmit the house, they have to actually travel that they have to go. So, what I believe we should be arguing is you, INEC, said that your incapacity to transfer presidential election was due to meeting and all that. Can you please give us empirical evidence, to say that you're still? I think those are the clear point, requirements. Question that we ask. Okay, give us the purpose, because for every attack, we see traces.
Exactly.
There will be traces for every, maybe you were hacked, there will be traces and all that, where you had downtime. This is cool. Alright? Because those of just came to the house, to try and
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Mr.
so much,
Samson.
Mr. Sam. But Mr. Sam, please, can I ask a question before you go off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, please. We understand that you are a strong supporter of a particular political party. I wouldn't want to mention the name. Okay, now since the swearing is on 29th of May, and then there are these pending court cases and issues that are yet to be resolved, what do you think would happen if the INEC and the other people involved did not resolve these issues before the swearing in and still goes on to swear in the president-elect?
Okay. I know where you're coming from. Perhaps if the guy, current president, when he gets swearing, maybe he might just want to use federal might to overrule. No, that's not the happen. Alright? We in the case of India, India has actually gone on for over 3 years. Now that cost is only unfortunately the lacuna of one thing they was provided by the constitution. I mean we have one thing to resolve whatever petition that we have on ground. Alright? Just like Azak issue would be investigated, would be emptied up. But the reality is they are not going to handle one case for another. Everything has to be treated at once. You get the point. So, and that's where, everybody in this battle, we try as much as possible to utilize their theory in their own defense. Everything will take to the issue of delay practice. They will delay to an extent and then bringing their own response as an 8 hour. Why the other petitioners will react immediately? Because they are the one they are with the venue who try as much as possible to see the defense, play the issue. You understand? So the issue will be after this man has sworn in. If the Supreme Court rules otherwise, he has no choice than to what? Take that position. Because it doesn't leave, he's only setting and he's validating every reason for Nigerian structure. You understand? And this man has said, who is speaking right now, he said, as a Democrat, whatever happens, he will take it. Alright? But he's taking it, his followers are not taking it. And that's why I would reiterate the fact that as they go into this position, all these people must reassure us through a written, document that whatever happens, that ruling for the last favors or the other favors, maybe I'll take it, I will accept it, and then I'll report. I am reassuring the what? The economy is weak. My fans, I should bear responsibility. As of today, for me not being held responsible for the what? For the misbehaviors of the obedient movement, for the unruly nature, nobody is holding him responsible. But at this junction as we are now, we need to take regret that even you as leader and your followers must be held responsible. And the only person that will be held responsible is the head. Look at what that is. For me, not being this like alright? Not honoring your vision as a people. Because it's fight, whatever affects the head, affects the whole body. Whatever affects that thing that affects people. In this situation, everybody is accelerating to be choice for that is affected. And meanwhile, it could have been for me that pushed that to go to that. You understand? So, our democracy is still in that, still in that maturity stage. And I know that anytime we are about to get to the higher stage, of course, there will definitely be frictions. But all I just pray for and I expect, full understanding. After all, what we want is a good country, a good nation, a progressive world. So I think as a patriotic citizen, let us try as much as we do everything, within the ambience of the law without breaking down the rules.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samson.
And to round it up, I think on the signing of peace accord, before the election there was a signing of this same peace accord, but during the election we saw series of pockets of violence in some places. The election was actually okay in some part, but in other part as well we saw series of voter suppression. We saw it on camera, on Twitter, on social media as well, and places whereby ballot box snatching actually took place, places whereby the beavers was actually stolen, and in some places where the result was not uploaded in real time while the candidate have already signed the peace accord. So I'm asking you now, is there any significance or importance in signing another peace accord again? And if the process of the tribunal is not transparent to those people that are aggrieved, would they actually want to sign the peace accord again?
Okay. First of all, there's no limit to the numbers of people that want to sign. So far, they have signed twice. They're going to commit them to sign the third one for this petition purpose. Secondly, in terms of transparency, maybe your own definition of transparency is citing, the area. For me, I believe that as in construction, Nigeria, majority of the people we have online, majority of the obedience are going into this position with a closed mind. They are not going with an open mind. They are going to a position with an open mind. You will know that yes, we have a chance to win or to lose. While they are now, they are of the opinion, just like their principal has actually understanding obedience, that if the Supreme Court does not rule in their favor, then democracy will not change. How can you go to position? How can you go to? How can you be the accuser, the jury, and the judge? Okay, doesn't make any sense. So the transparency now, that subject to transparency is just being too subjective and you are being too sentimental. In my own view, general position. The question is, obedience, articulate. Are you all to be like you want to dance to court of law and at the end of the day you lose? Are you going to commend judiciary for a well-structured or you only want to commend them when they must? That's the question. That is the question. Because if everybody saying there was no way on earth people would have won the election. My question is, why would we have won the election? Why would we have won the election? First of all, you know the Nigeria. Secondly, have we forgotten how influential he has been in the national politics? Have we forgotten his electoral findings? Because Buhari actually didn't do well economically, and we now just push all the failures of Buhari on so if you want to be critical in analyzing and dissecting these issues, and we want to be human, we have to give people also a chance of winning. But when we are so close-minded that there was no way on earth, I don't want to go to hell or heaven, people wouldn't have won this election, then we shouldn't have conducted the election at all. So let's go.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
For joining
Thanks
us.
for your contribution.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Alright, that was Mr. Samson.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually have a lot of things to say, but the truth is, what we do here is we look at the
issues.
the
We look at
issues,
what people are saying on the streets, not particularly our own position or what people are saying on the street. So actually, just because we are rounding up, there are still questions I actually would have asked him. He said something like being objective enough, or maybe like on one side of a party or something. But the question I would have asked him is that now I'm referring to the judiciary system. Judiciary system of Nigeria, so far so good. I won't say they are not doing well, like on a 0% or something, but Nigerians are expecting to see more of the positives than the negatives. The cases that have been to court in recent times, how have they carried it out? How? We've seen a lot of times whereby the executive flout orders from the judiciary in so many cases. So now, are we now trusting the same judiciary system to give, to give an objective judgment, and everybody should now sign a peace accord to accept whatever they get from this same judiciary that many people don't even have trust in? There is empirical fact, there's empirical evidences. They can come out to say, okay, there's a time whereby the court said free Nnamdi Kanu, you decided to do something else. There was a time whereby they said, okay, arrest Bawa, you should go to the president or something. He didn't go. There's a time whereby this man who actually killed Buraimo on the 25th of December, now he's saying that he has no case in the court. Series of of scenarios that have actually happened in the past that the judiciary system didn't really do up to what the people expected of them. So now, how are these aggrieved people are to trust this same judiciary system to deliver a fair judgment for them? So that was what I would have actually asked him, because if he was part of those people, the aggrieved people, would he want to sign that kind of peace accord even when the judicial system has a question mark on it?
All right, that was a very good question from you, and I believe that we'll be giving you guys room, our viewers, to please answer this question if you have an answer to it,
can drop it
on our next program, or you drop your answer right on the comment section. I think with this, we've come to the end of the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I remain Gladys Alozi.
And I remain Alajide Tafik Olamide. Till we see you again tomorrow for another exciting edition of Lagos This Morning. Bye for now. You have a good day ahead.
100 naira eko, 10 bus eko.